Today is less a makeup tutorial and more a guide. Today we're going to talk about how to look like you tried while putting in as little effort as possible, with just enough of that little touch to look bomb AF on that Zoom call. This video really is about actually what makes you feel beautiful. What's that one missing touch that just makes you feel so much better once you have it on? I know this is cheesy, you've probably heard it before. If you feel like I look bomb, you really are going to resonate as more bomb looking. People are gonna respond to that. So what I like to call these little areas of concern that will just up-level your face a million points, I like to characterize them as structure, coverage, color, and cooties, which is what I like to call that piece of feminine energy. Now delving into the structure category, I'm going to highlight my weapon of choice, concealer. The Clinique All About Eyes concealer. Guys, this stuff is so good. I've been using it since 7th grade. I'm going to show you what a difference it can make, especially if you have under eye circles. You don't have to do the whole face. Although if your whole complexion is your area of concern, we will cover that in the coverage category. Just a little touch of concealer can start to create that kind of contoured look. I'm going to apply it with my middle and index fingers because they're my weakest fingers actually, and the skin underneath the eyes, and it's actually much thinner, much more fragile. I'm just going to dab a little bit. I like to bring it all the way up here just to kind of lift my cheekbones while still covering this up. Because this makeup tutorial is all about putting in as little effort as possible, I'm only going to be using one brush for this makeup tutorial, and it is this bad boy. I'm going to show you what wonders this brush can do. This is actually an e.l.f. brush, which they're like the holy grail of cheap but effective makeup products. What makes it so lovable? It is a wide kind of brush, but it's also flat on top. It kind of double functions for both liquid and powder, and is its own like brush that's also a powder puff because it's got that flat surface. So I'm just going to kind of blend this, and it's going to create a really smooth look. It's even more minimal than actually using your hands to blend it in. It's okay if the application is messy, especially for this. That's what the beauty of our brush does. It just cleans everything right up. I'm gonna keep any of the excess actually on my finger. You're gonna see why in a second. Finally, I'm gonna take, sorry, I don't mean to flip you off, but I'm gonna take the excess on my finger, and I'm going to actually go one step further with the structure and start to create that contour by highlighting the ridge of my nose and then bringing it up here and just kind of focusing on this basically shape right here. Do not over squeeze. Meet. Kind of blend in there and just make that look super neat. Took 2 seconds, and I swear, I feel like a different person. You could leave it as is or pair it with just a little bit of lip. I feel much more polished and ready to look great on Zoom. Your skin is one of those factors that is really going to elevate how you look on Zoom calls. Your screen may be reflecting a little bit of light on your face, so when you're on camera, something mattifying is really great. I believe that with your secret weapon, brush, you can really make a lot work for you with very little effort. Back in the olden days, I actually used to put on my foundation with my fingers exclusively until I found the beauty of brushes. They're not expensive. You don't have to be a makeup artist. They just spread the color all over your face while making it look super smooth. Now the first approach to coverage is setting powder. This is Color City HD powder, and it's actually really cheap. I feel like it was like $10. And if complexion is your concern, it just really reflects any light that is bouncing off of all of those areas of your face that you don't want it to. Let's do this. Just dab the color, dab, 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 dab. And we're just gonna kind of apply this everywhere. It's gonna take 2 seconds. Especially if you have oily skin, this stuff is your saving grace. But wow, what a difference. It's subtle, but it really bounces off and it makes my skin look flawless, even though I didn't even put anything with color on. Now, another approach you can take to coverage is foundation, of course. And if you find the right one and you find the right techniques, it should be super easy to put on. For that reason, I really love powders. I feel like they're just so low effort. You just kind of, many powders have a mattifying effect as well. Note that if you'd like to use a powder and your skin is on the drier side, that you should definitely make sure, especially then, that you have moisturizer kind of locking it in from below and keeping it from drying out your skin all day. Sometimes even a setting spray is a good measure as well. This is Sheer Mineral Foundation by Mineral Hygienics. I think I literally stole it from my mom. I can link that in the bio as well. Knowing her, probably has good ingredients. So I'm just going to dash this on my face. And it's gonna add just a touch of color to kind of cover up those imperfections. If you want to go the extra mile, you can add concealer too, but in my opinion, adding both isn't necessarily low effort, but it should really be about what makes you feel comfortable and what makes you feel hot. This really earns the gold star for the coverage on the forehead, where I tend to get a little oily, and that can really come out when you're on video, on your Zoom calls, or FaceTime, or whatever contact you're having. I like to go in actually with my finger just underneath the eyes, just because I like a little extra coverage there, and this would be ideal, especially if I don't feel like putting concealer on as well. So I'm gonna dab, and then just kind of rub that in. Voila! You can really see the difference that makes, just looking like I have one skin tone, which is huge. Color. In this category, I really put your cheeks and your lips. Adding a little bit of flush and color to your skin and your face is going to make you look more healthy, vivacious, awake. I personally feel like so much more polished when I put lip color on. It's just that little extra thing. When it comes to minimal effort, I really love with the lips to use something matte that is gonna stay on for a long ass time. One of my favorites is Meet Matte Hues by The Balm. Guys, this stuff is good. It doesn't get like all crusty when you apply another layer. It stays on really long. It doesn't feel extra dry on your lips. It comes in a lot of really good colors that I find just look good on everyone. The ingredients honestly are not amazing, but it works so well that I use it anyway. So give you all the information. Now, if you don't use a lot of lip products, sorry, I'm like giving this tutorial with half a lip. What am I doing? Nah. Okay, so if you don't use a lot of lip products, I will say one helpful hint is you can overdraw just a tad by bringing this just a little lower than your lip on the bottom and the arches just a little higher on the top. But the one thing about overdrawing is bring the corners all the way back in for sure, because otherwise you're gonna look like a clown. A before and after. It looks like night and day. And you don't have to use something dark like this, although I would say for the most striking, oh shit, I put an effort effect, the darker color is going to look like you tried a little bit harder. But even just like a very natural color that's even more neutral than this is going to draw the eye to the lips instead of the other parts of your face that you didn't try on. Not that those aren't absolutely beautiful already, because as you can see, my hair is not done today, and I feel that you can get away with it and you just add a little touch of makeup. Where do you want to spend your effort in limited time? Add one focal point. People just need a focal point to distract them. Just one. Just one. Also in the color category, we're going to use a little bit of blush. This blush is actually Hikari. It does a really nice job of just adding a little bit of natural color. Make sure that you're really doing circles around this rounded part of your cheek and then going all the way up here to the cheekbone to kind of define that as well. If you want to go the extra mile, you can even just dab a little touch on your chin. And this Hikari blush is nice too. It's actually part of a 4-part grid. I'll go ahead and show it to you, although it's a little bit cracked. So you've got the blush down here, and then you're probably gonna get a little bit of these shimmeries as well while you're aiming for there, so it actually gives me a nice glow too. And finally, the cooties category. This is really about adding that extra touch of femininity. And when I say femininity, think of the caricature of a female who was the object of desire. Think on a cartoon character. What's she going to do? She's going to show up with all these pretty eyes that just blink at you. So it's amazing how it can really make a difference to just add a touch of mascara and emphasize those lashes. So we're gonna go in here with my favorite technique, which is kind of going side to side to coat the lashes and then twirling up to get all of them. And this is the Ciate London Triple Shot Mascara, and it's one that I'm really a fan of. I think it really does a great job of elongating while keeping the lashes separate. Adding a touch of color to the bottom as well, just slightly touching on the lashes. Isn't that funny with the mascara face? I feel like every female in the world leaves her mouth open when she applies mascara. All right, and then here we go. And it's really interesting how just that one thing can instantly make you feel more put together. At least it does for me. And it can really bring out those eyes and make them look bigger and more of a focal point on your face. That's it. Thank you, everyone. Please go into your Zoom calls looking awesome. And if you found this helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe because we're gonna go coronavirus. Coronavirus. Coronaviral.